What's up, guys? We're gonna go out here and work on our man-made forest a little bit, bringing you out here with us. This isn't anything that needs to be done. Yeah, I see that. But this is something that we want to do. And something we're going to do as a family. If you've been following us, you know that we planted all of these trees ourselves over the last couple of years since we've been here. We did most of them at the very beginning when we first moved here to try to build a privacy screen. It's a constant work in progress. Some of them have died, some of them have been replaced, and if we find any gaps where we need to maybe put another one, we will, but we're just kind of trimming up some of the grass. And there's a method to the madness. Let me explain this to you here real quick. These are Virginia burning bushes. See how their leaves are like a really pretty red? It's the end of July, it's almost August. These things will start turning red this time of year. And they've only been in there for, this December will make 2 years, but they're gonna bush out. Next year we're gonna cut them back so that they grow in thicker. But what we wanted is this whole last row that we see first from the windows of the house. We wanna have these bright, bushy, beautiful red burning bushes, and then we've got all these rows of hardwoods, and then of course the evergreens down in front that will eventually grow to make a very thick privacy screen. And then this of course will be our courtyard. So I'm gonna go down here, I'm gonna cut some weeds, and Daniel's gonna help rake, and Darley's gonna rake and help and cut some weeds, and we're gonna see if we need to put any trees anywhere. So hope you guys enjoy spending a little bit of time with us here in our man-made forest. We keep these around some of our younger trees because if we don't, well, we have, honey, come a little closer. I don't think they can hear. Yeah, I mean, we have two ways in which we keep our trees being devoured by deer. And one of the ways we started doing it a lot was with these tree guards. And there goes the car, that's why we're doing this. But this is just 2 by 4 foot fencing that is actually 48 inches high. I cut it in half. But that was one way. That was a long, drawn out way of doing it. We've since found a pretty good deer repellent. I'll show you that here in a minute. We just remove these guards when we want to clip around here, and we do this about once a month. And again, I know this isn't necessary, but we don't view it as a waste of time at all. We enjoy it. We want this forest. You know, so much of like why we're doing what we're doing here is just about our family doing things together all the time. And we're not in the house watching TV. We don't have cable. That's not the kind of things we want to do. These are the kind of things we want to do. And it's, you know, a lot of you folks who subscribe, you've mentioned that these things are creating memories that's going to last a lifetime. I would venture to go a little bit further and say we're creating memories that are going to last generations. I mean, we don't know exactly what the future holds. None of us do, but, you know, someday Daniel might be down here with his grandchildren getting shade underneath this maple tree that's 50 feet high, and he might be telling his grandchildren about this day when his mother and father were down here clipping grass, and how all he wanted to do was play all summer, and his mean old dad made him rake up the grass after he clipped it. Hey buddy, come here. You see how that's a memory that can last generations, not just a lifetime, but many lifetimes. Can you rake all this up, buddy?
Sure.
Yeah, just rake that up. So he's gonna rake that up. Good job. Because we always, when we clip, we like to rake it up. I have a sled over there. You know, if you've been watching us, we use a sled as a wheelbarrow because you can get them at Kroger like in the end of January, February, sometimes 3 for $10 or $15, something like that. But it's cheap. But after he rakes all this grass up, we'll move it out into the wood line, because if we leave it here and then it gets hot tomorrow, you guys know it'll just put a big burn spot, a big dead grass spot. You got gnats in your eyes, buddy? Here. How's that? So now it's Dearly's turn. Daniel's dragging some grass over the wood line. Dearly's doing the next one. Are you having fun, honey?
Yep. Look at my poplar.
Yeah, it's a poplar. What
We
do
have
those?
a lot of t-shirts.
Yeah, what do those leaves look like?
T-shirts.
Okay, remember guys, I told you that in one of my morning rambles, how my beautiful bride pointed out to me that the... Hold on, buddy. Hold on a second. I'm coming with you. These look like t-shirts. So, honey, I'm going to go with him. You're okay, buddy. Daniel is, look at this, 7 years old. Not inside playing video games. And I'm not judging anybody who is, but we just think this is a little bit healthier. So, we got so much grass to clip. It's been a while. This is one of the things that's backed up on my list of to-dos here on the homestead that I now have all the time in the world to do. We might have some bare spots over here. We might actually have to go get another tree. Look at that. Good job, buddy. Good job. You're such a good worker, huh? This is where we can just kind of dump it. Bring it over here in the tree line. You can see here, this is from where we cut last month or maybe the month before. We do this about once a month. Yeah, and this is where we kind of put it all, huh, buddy? And you look, let me see. Looks so cute in Daddy's hat. Those big fat cheeks sticking out the side. Okay, you want to take the sled over there and get ready for the next load? Just going to take a look at some trees here. So, oh, this one I just transferred over here this year. Another thing about these tree guards, guys, when we do this, and this isn't necessary at this point, but when you first transfer a tree or plant a tree, a lot of you have done this, you'll notice that something comes along and digs them up sometimes at night. That is often foxes, raccoons, or possums looking for moles or voles or mice, because these small rodents will burrow into the soft soil looking for grubs, and then the fox will go after them. Or sometimes it's a raccoon digging in the softer soil where it's easier to find worms. But the point is they'll dig your tree up. So this hickory tree, we started growing last fall from a nut. Actually, a nut fell way up there. Can't even see it from here. Up there where we do the morning rambles, way, about a quarter of a mile away. There's the chair, way up there. We have a big parent hickory tree up there, and the nuts fall. And this tree came from a nut just last year, and it's already almost 2 feet tall. So, but sometimes what we'll do, like this is a tiny little maple that just hasn't done much, and it's because we didn't get a guard around this in time and the deer ate it down last year. We might go get a larger tree and put right here, but I can get back here with them. Here's a maple that's doing good. Here's an eastern red bud, gets those really pretty purple flowers. You got another load already, buddy? Okay, bring it on over. Wow, mommy's working fast, isn't she? She's cutting and raking, and daddy's just...
Because I'm not playing around.
Because you're not playing around?
Me neither.
Yeah, daddy's just running his mouth, huh? I thought the ramble was supposed to be in the morning, huh? But here he is, just a rambling. Oh, yeah, he's got a thumbs up, hauling more grass. Coming on over here with another load. Got another load, huh?
Yes.
And dump that in the... Good job, buddy. So here's another benefit to using these little plastic sleds as a wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow is probably just a little bit too big for a 7-year-old boy. But a little plastic sled works just fine, doesn't it, buddy? Yeah. Buddy, you know, one of these days you're going to be coming down here and these trees are going to be so big, you're going to be hiding underneath them for shade. And you're going to be able to watch these videos and remember when you actually helped your mommy and daddy plant this forest. So guys, what we are going to do, what we like to do is we've got like 7 or 8 rows. When we come down here and trim this once a month, it takes about a week because we'll pick just one row and we'll do one row. And this takes us, I mean, there's a lot of trees here. We got to clip, then we got to rake, and we got to haul it off. One row takes maybe, I don't know, maybe close to an hour, but it goes by fast because we enjoy doing it. But we don't want to overwhelm ourselves. A lot of times when you have a lot of work to do, if you try to do too much of it at once, you get overwhelmed and you don't finish. And we used to try that. We used to try to clip this all in one day, and we get 90% of the way done, and then we'd be so burnt out we might not get to the rest for like 2 weeks. So now, hinai, which in Visayas means slow and easy, take your time. We do it a row at a time. Hey guys, let's check out our work. Follow mommy, buddy. Come on, follow mommy. We put the guards back. We've got one full row. Doesn't that look better?
Yeah, this does look good.
Man, I'll come up here and I'll mow all this here later, or come down here. This is down the hill. There he goes hurdling. There she goes too, hurdling our trees. But look at this. We got it all trimmed up. Got the guards back. It looks cleaner now. Well, it was clean anyway. It doesn't look as messy. It's a lot of work. But we enjoy doing it, and we're doing it together. And that's what is so, tell you, it's great when you do stuff like this together as a family. So here we all the way down, look at that. Now some of these trees are not very big, but we're giving them ample opportunity to grow. I put this one down here just a couple weeks ago. The sun's starting to pop out, and there's just a little bit of shade over there by the wood line, and here soon, this is all gonna be shade, but the sun's coming out. But honey,
Yes.
you think we ought to put another tree up here at this one spot?
Let's see.
Here, take this. Don't stop it, just, what do you think?
Oh yeah.
See, now, I want to point something out here, guys. This thing was stunted, like I said earlier, because the deer chewed it down, and we didn't get a guard around it in time. We learned, I want to show you what this is. I mentioned in other videos, and we're not being paid to promote this product. I just want you to know what it is, what we use. This does work. It's called I Must Garden Deer Repellent. Are you getting a good view of that, honey?
Yeah.
Okay, we just weren't spraying these things in time, but we're gonna go get another tree to put here because we're trying to make sure this forest kind of grows up evenly. So if most of the trees on this row are like 3 feet tall and this one's not, we're not gonna dig this tree up and kill it. There's a lot of gnats out here. But what we'll do is we'll plant another one beside it. So we have a place way up here, up behind where we do the morning ramble that we call the tree depository. We're gonna walk way up there and find us another tree for down here. So follow me. We're almost there, guys. We stopped filming because it's quite a hike, but I started here almost here because we have some wild black cherries here ripening. Birds will be getting these soon. We have some larger ones and some other trees around here that are actually kind of good. Those are kind of bitter, as most of you know, but some of them are not so bitter. Does this place look familiar? It's a morning ramble. Yep, we're almost here. I'm going to show you how far we've walked here in just a second. And they're breathing hard. It's humid. It's not hot today. It's July 30. It's in the 80s probably, but it's very humid. And you know how we say it down here in the south, it ain't the heat, it's the humidity. But look, here's where we came from. Way down there. See our man-made forest down there? We were way down there, walked all the way up here. There they are. They're at the tree depository. And the reason we call this a tree depository, you guys all right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's why we call it the tree depository. This is kind of like a magical spot on our property. We have oak trees, we have poplars, there's a hickory back here, we have maples, trees of heaven, which if you don't know much about that, we leave them there pretty. A lot of people cut them out. There's a special way you have to dispose of these trees, but their roots are toxic and they'll actually kill a lot of other vegetation around them because they're fighting for sunlight. But we like the little red furry things they get on the end, and here in about another month around August, September, and they smell really good. A lot of people think they stink. I love how they smell. But we've got eastern redbud, we've got locust, we got everything up here, and so
I think we should let Daniel pick.
okay, well, we got to find, yeah, we can let him pick, but let me explain what the tree depository is here real quick.
Okay, sorry.
We call this the tree depository because all these parent trees have all these babies right here, and we view it as a gift from Mother Nature to us, saying, hey, here's some little trees for your man-made forest or anywhere you want to put them. Look at this. Here's a little poplar. And here, look at this hickory. Here's a hickory. We can come up here at any given time. Here's an oak. Now these are hard to, you know, their tap roots go down very, very deep. Here's a redbud. Here's another poplar. We can come up here. We could dig up every single little baby tree because we did this last year. Most of our trees way down there on our man-made forest came from here. We dig them up. We come up a month or two later and they're back. I mean, here's another oak. That's a white oak. Another redbud. Here's cedar. Everything we want is right here. So when I keep, I keep this trail mowed down around the property, I make sure not to infringe here on the depository because I kind of view this as this is the gift box of trees. I know this sounds nuts. Like I said, they called me Crazy Lake in the Army, but this is where the gifts happen. We come up here and Mother Nature says, here's your trees. And we're kind of reforesting all of this and letting the deer have their way with it as they see fit, but this is where we get ours for way down there. What are you guys doing?
Daniel wants to pick the tree.
Okay, what kind of tree do you want to get for down there, buddy?
Cedar.
Cedar, huh?
Really? I mean, no.
It'd be great if we... Poplar? We see any poplar trees in there?
Yep, I saw one.
Okay, let Daniel pick one out. Watch. It's my 7-year-old son, and he can already differentiate all the different hardwood trees here on the East Coast. Where's a poplar?
Here.
Show me. Point it. Touch it. Grab
Right
it.
here.
Yep, that's a poplar tree, huh? Is it tall enough? Yeah, I think so.
I
Yeah.
found one too, hon.
You found one too?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that one's...
Yeah.
Now, guys, I want to point out something to our folks watching here about transferring trees in the summer. The best time to do this, and we've made other videos on this, is just before they start budding out in spring because they're still dormant. They're getting ready to come out of dormancy. That's the safest time to transfer them. Now look, you can transfer them in the summer under certain conditions. You see all those clouds? If those clouds were not there today and the sun was beating down and it was 90+ degrees today, we would not be transferring trees because from the time we got them from the tree depository all the way down there a quarter of a mile away, they'd probably die because the roots would be exposed to the sun, they'd be exposed to the heat, and it just wouldn't work.
We're just taking a break.
Yeah, they're over here laughing because Daddy talks too much, huh?
It's okay. We like hearing you.
It's the perfect rambler for the morning rambles, huh? Because all he does is ramble, huh? So anyway, because it's overcast, because it's not too hot, we can safely dig some of these trees up. And after we put it in the ground, the leaves might brown and they might look like they're dead, but they won't be. They'll rebud. The end of July, we'll get another bud here before the end of the year. And by next spring, you'll never be able to tell we transferred them late. So I'm going to dig up a tree. Good thing our chickens aren't up here. They'd eat this guy. But isn't that a beautiful grasshopper? Where'd he go? Did you see it?
No. Oh, there.
Where? Yeah. Oh, there he is. Look at that. Get him on the video there. Isn't that beautiful?
Sick.
Sick. That's beautiful. Ow, he bit me.
Oh, my. I didn't know that they could be.
I didn't either, but he can, so we're not going to mess with him too much. I don't want to rip his legs off. But isn't he beautiful? Look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, it is. Hello, buddy. You don't need... If you hold your hand out like this, he can't bite you because he can't get a hold of your skin. If he gets towards the end of my thumb, he can. So let's... Ooh, let's... I want to make sure to get up and underneath the roots really, really well. And sometimes you don't know really which way they're going until you get up underneath there and get the top level off. But it looks like this one's going back that way, so I'll come back this way a little bit. And this should be sufficient. Yeah, that'll be sufficient. So now, when we got it up, we don't want to lollygag. We don't want to waste time. We want to get back down there. Again, there's no sun today because of the overcast, but we want to get this back down there and in the ground as quick as we can. So let's go ahead and start heading back down that way. Come a little closer, honey, so they can hear me. The audio on these cameras don't work so much if we're far away, but we're on the way back down to where we're going to plant this. I just wanted to point this one out to you. Dearly planted this one about a week ago, and this is what I was talking about. It looks like it's dead. It's not. This tree's perfectly healthy. She got her guard around this, and I wasn't here when she did this. I'm so proud of her. I was working at that time, but she got the guard around it to keep the the small mammals, large rodents, well, raccoons, they're not rodents, but raccoons, foxes, which is a canine in the canine family, and possums, which is a rodent. That's why I had that train of thought. From digging up the soft soil looking for grubs and worms. So anyway, this tree looks like it's dead. It's not. Okay, it might lose the leaves it had because we planted it in the summer, but it'll be perfectly okay, and by October it'll probably start budding again, and by next year it'll be on pace with the other trees that are already in this tree line. Okay, so we're not going to dig that tree up because, I mean, it might be like a slow starter. Maybe here in a couple of years it'll really pick up the pace, and here, you know, we'll have a poplar and a maple. You guys have been in the woods enough to know that sometimes they grow in very close proximity to each other. So I just kind of get this, and then here goes neighbor, wonderful neighbor. Again, just because I ran one neighbor off with the crayon doesn't mean I ran all of my neighbors off with the crayon. Okay, buddy, you want to come hold this? Is this enough? Hold this. Hold on. Here, I need to make it a little bit deeper. Step back a little bit, buddy. Step back just a little bit, huh?
Sure, yes, sir.
Can you step back just a little bit, buddy? There.
Sure, yes, sir.
Okay. See that way? I can come over here and dig from here too. This should work. I want to point. Yeah, get some water there, buddy. Make sure to stay hydrated. Okay. All right, buddy. Bring it on over here now. Okay, hon, let's get a shot of this. I want to point out here, guys, when you're transferring your trees, this is where it was level with the ground when we dug it up. This is where you want it to be level with the ground when you put it in. If you put it in further than that, you're going to risk killing the tree because of mold. If you're up here, it's just, you want to, okay, if it's up above where it was, what had previously been beneath the surface is a little bit tender in regard to sunlight and whatnot, and you risk losing the tree because of that. So, buddy, come here, buddy. Hold this thing straight. Here, just hold it like that. While I bury this, we're gonna use our num buddy. Come on now, that's for us.
Oh.
Guys, I'm telling you, if you spend a lot of time working out in the summer, you don't just have to worry about hydration, but I don't, you know, the house is 250, 300 yards away. If I swallow a gnat right now, hold it straight right there like that, okay? There. You know, we made a video about gnats and repelling gnats, but something I pointed out in that video, and I want to point it out again, if I swallow a gnat the wrong way and it gets stuck in my windpipe, here, right here, baby, hold it like that, okay? That could be a very unpleasant experience. A lot of you have done that. So I always like to make sure I'm keeping water on me when I'm out here in the summer working, not just because of dehydration, but if I get a gnat stuck in my throat, I need to be able to swallow it down like that. All right, let it go. There you go. So that my body doesn't go into panic mode, because it can be a long sprint to the house. And so I just did it. See, watch. Problem solved. So that's why when my little monkey boy here is wasting our water like that, I take the bottle away and tell him not to. You never know when that gnat's going down your windpipe, huh? All right, now that I have that, I'm gonna do two more things. Get a good view of this, honey. I can take this tree guard off of this tree because the soil here is no longer soft. I don't have to worry about possums. And where'd my hammer go? Hold on, I got those yellow tent pegs. There. I got some really good tent pegs holding this down, so I gotta have my hammer to get this one up. There's that one. This one, see? Now here's the deal. I'm putting this one over here because if I don't, we've done this enough to know look a little closer, honey. They can't hear me. I'm telling you, the audio on these, we got to be kind of close. If I don't do this, then all the efforts that we just made to walk 1/4 of a mile up the hill, to dig up this poplar tree, bring it 1/4 of a mile back, dig the hole, plant it, all those efforts are in vain because we've done this enough and we found out early on a raccoon, a possum, or a fox will dig this thing up tonight. So you're just wasting your time doing this if you don't do it right. And now over here, and this is why we brought the I Must Garden deer repellent, we're gonna spray this. Now the deer around here prefer particular trees. This just takes a few squirts. This is a young locust and we're gonna trim this row probably tomorrow. The deer typically don't mess with the locust. They love, when the buds are on in the spring, they love them all, but they prefer, it seems, maple. They barely touch the poplar, but they do sometimes. But what we found is that the deer on our property will eat up just about anything, mostly out of curiosity. They come through here at night. You've seen them in the videos when I'm doing the morning rambles in the mornings. They know that there used to be a tree guard right here. They're gonna notice that something's different. They're gonna come over here and sniff around and they might just munch on this thing just out of curiosity. Well, that either kills my tree or stunts its growth. So I give it just a couple sprays from this, which is people, pet, and plant safe. And that'll keep them from chewing it down. So that's all there is to it. I guess we're kind of finished. I'm gonna get a shot of all of us here, ending our family activity. So come here, buddy. Let's just as a group tell everybody goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Hope you guys enjoyed spending some time with us here, working some maintenance and putting another tree in our man-made forest. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you to everybody who has, and let Daniel know in the comments section how his bows and thumbs up are going. He seems to be working on those. All right, we'll see you guys next time.